I think the TA3s sound great. They sound a whole shitload better than the Kiwi Ears Quartet. Honestly, this thing deserves its own bid. It's an awesome value. Hi, fine folks. This is the Tone Deaf Monk. If you ever wonder why I do this, is because, well, I love music, I enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy finding some gems. And I kind of did that with this one, and this is the Trn Ta3. Didn't hear much about it, just popped up on AliExpress one day. I kind of searched it and looked for some reviews, and it had an interesting driver count, and I just didn't see much about it. So I reached out to TRN, and I asked, if I can get something as a sample. They didn't send it to me for free. I ended up paying half price for this one, but I also got another one for $1, which was the TA3. No, MT4. Jeez. So that one they gave me as a sample. I'm trying to find some gems. I just finished my review of the Kiwi Ears Quartet, which I didn't like too much. Thought it had too much BA timbre, and it sounded like it. For all you haters out there, you got to remember that I am not a professional reviewer. I don't do this for money. This is not my career, and I have 2 ears and an opinion, and I share it. So I don't go with the hype train. No one's sponsoring me or paying me to do these videos. So this is on my own volition, and this is why I do it. I just have fun. So let's talk more about this TA3. It's a pretty interesting surprise, that's for sure. In the box was pretty simple. Of course, I lost it when I want to find it, but it doesn't really matter. Simple box. It comes with the nicest free cable. It's not free because you pay for everything that you get in the box. So, but let me get into this. The it is MS5 Dark Angel SPC cable. Looks very much like that. One of my criticisms with them was, why can't you put a modular cable on? Boom! Right? Not only is it a modular cable that comes with the TA3, it makes a wicked connection and doesn't come apart. Probably one of the most impressive. You know I hate talking about cables, so I'm only talking about this cable because it's damn awesome. And it's included in the box. Goes further. The modular ends, these ends that are not metal, left and right marked, cost more than metal ends. It gets cooler even. There's a kind of the pins, it's 2 pins, but they're kind of recessed, a socket. So the QDC connector here, when you put these to my fat sausage fingers, Good enough. Yeah, perfect. There you can see. It's an awesome connector. And it's solid, and it can't be any nicer than this with the cable. Like, full credits. Brass nozzle. Again, I Quartet, I said, you know, it looks cheap. Why couldn't you just put a brass nozzle on it? Because you're cutting corners. Everything is done really, really well. They have a little bit of heft to them, which was really surprising. And I'll talk a little bit more about the configuration. I mean, it uses an alloy top, and it uses a resin on the bottom, and it's just the shell shape is just terrific. I mean, it's hit so far, feature-wise, cable-wise, nozzle-wise, connector-wise. This is all screaming awesome. Sorry, had to get my notes. I paid, like 40 bucks for these things, and they sell for $58. Okay. Now, even if you just bought these things and the IEM sucked ass, you're getting a baller cable, nice tips actually too. I paid more for modular cables than 58 bucks. I'm using BGVPW07 tips. They worked really good on this one. I like, again, wide bore. I switched over all my listening impressions and the test measurements because the cable could actually work in 3.5 with my sound card. And then I switched over to 4.4 balanced and did all my listening impressions. I listened to it on the Hippie R3. I burn these things in for 3 days. I always do my burn in. So if you've ever watched my videos, all of my impressions are, whether you believe it or not, impressions about burn in. I do it my due diligence because I do believe they do change, especially dynamic drivers. Anyway, moving on. Configuration. Here you got 2 dynamic drivers, and this is what caught my eye, and 1 balanced armature. Unlike the Kiwi Ears Quartet, where they cheaped out and put some kind of no-name Belsing BA in there, which really doesn't sound great. They put the Knowles, and happy to tell you that. They said, you know, we put a Knowles 33518 for the treble. We put a beryllium coated. I love BERRI drivers. My Zen's up. The bass, just something about the beryllium coated dynamic drivers are very speedy. And they had a great note weight. So I kind of beeline in for beryllium drivers, and when I saw a 10 mil beryllium, I was like, that's interesting. 6 mil, so the 10 mil DD does the lows, then they have a 6 millimeter titanium coated dynamic driver in it. That one there does the mids to the highs. So actually, they say it's mids to upper mids, and then the balanced armature is doing the highs. Really cool configuration. I thought if it could work, interesting. I found a graph which I shouldn't have. It's, and I looked at it and went, "Oh, that's some interesting tuning action." And I forgot about it. And then I burned these things in, and I listened to it. And then after I did that, I did my measurements as well, and went, "Wow, that's that graph sort of translates to what I'm hearing, but not really." It's one of these IMs that have a wacky graph that sound good. Spoiler alert. There you go. I think the TA3s sound great. They sound a whole shitload better than the Kiwi Ears Quartet for less than half. So, speaking of sound, let us go into some sound impressions per track. You'll notice in some of my videos, if they're under like 25 minutes, it's probably a good reason why I struggled to do the review and I just didn't like it very much. As much time as I can spend in my ears, I'm not going to spend any more time on the review and doing editing and timestamps and stuff. It just doesn't deserve it. So the Trn Ta3 I was originally going to do with two other TRNs that our group got, and so I got two. King Nubian got one, and we were going to do all three. But you know what? Honestly, this thing deserves its own vid. Really does. I haven't even listened to the MT4 yet. Another dynamic, two dynamic drivers. So, okay. So female vocals: Eva Cassidy, Janis Joplin, Kate Bush, Lord, Halsey. Sweet, perfect female vocals. I'm a big female. I love my female vocals. I was trying to articulate there and actually come up with something witty, but more energy drink. Okay, let's go. Eva Cassidy, one of the things that I heard on that track too was excellent standout piano. Like, fantastic. Sounded great. U2, With or Without You, very slight bass bleed, and that's mostly to do with the recording. And it played it back really well. Excellent vocals. Instrumental was top notch. Hoser, Take Me to Church. One of these tracks that if an IEM has sibilants, Kiwi ears cadenza. Quartet, sorry. Jeez, I keep mixing that one up. This had no sibilants. It was really well done. Joe Satriani, All My Friends Are Here. So here I'm listening to this track, and he's got the mix in there with left and right is more forward than his main track. And again, it did it really well. Excellent width on this one, and pretty good sense of depth as well. It wasn't the craziest, deepest presentation, but it had a nice presentation, and it made it exciting. Microdynamics, great. Sting and Shaggy, great weighted hits. Very organic bass. That is that BERRI driver that I love so much. Not only does it hit fast, it has a weight to it and a certain tonality that I really, really like with BERRI drivers. It seems to be all my favorite drivers are using either some kind of compound of paper, like a I forget the name of that they call those ones, but BERRI coateds have all been a hit for me so far. And the great vocals, again, Sting and Shaggy, the huskiness, the note weight, totally there. Dire Straits guitar sounded fantastic. Nicely balanced, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. And the bass weight was great. Nils Lofgren, the guitarist, again, great mix of bass, vocals, and guitar, and here was nicely balanced. Again, you look at that graph and you go, there's no way in this green earth that is a balanced IEM, but the way that the TA3 presented it, it sounded like there was a great balance of bass, of vocals, and guitar, and nothing was trying to compete with each other. It all played harmoniously. Harmoniously? Someone's going to call me out on my freaking grammar again, and if you do that, fuck you. Anyway, that was a bit harsh. I apologize. Female backups. Perfect. Dead Can Dance. Very nice. a very good sense of. There was a couple tracks I do from Dead Can Dance. Very nice sense of venue in this recording. Live recording was terrific. You can tell it's done in a big venue, and the stage and when the people come on to cheer, and you can just get that sense. And it's really good. A lot of IMs don't fail to do that, and again, it has to do with the high frequencies and just mixing into the mix, just the overall tonality of it. If you can get the sense of air and stage and space, that's bravo. Again, the TA3 is not the world's greatest IM. I'll say, but for what the price, I'm going off on its qualities, because for its price, it's just a real standout IM, excellent value. Crystal Method, pounds. Legit. Any kind of like yellow EDM, I loved it. Never got sibilant on me. Charlie Puth and Megan Trainor, Marvin Gaye. I listened to the song the other day and it was that shit. That's pretty fun. It really is a toe tapping, great vocal track. Recorded well, loved it, sounded great. Anyway, that was some track impressions. I don't have a library of. I listen to whatever I want to listen to, whether it be jazz, vocals, rock, Metallica, whatever I feel like listening to. That's what's my library. So maybe when I'm not just a fan of one library IMs or speakers, or I think everything needs to play back everything well, and that's what I'm looking for anyway. Vocals. Let's just talk vocals, because I love my vocals. Very, very clean. Almost monitor-like, very uncolored. I love my Pen-On Fan 2, and it has a Pen-On house sound, and I love those vocals. Super looking forward to the 10th anniversary IM I got coming. But these are more monitor-like, more, I would say more, I want to say natural. They're just less uncolored. They sound fantastic. Very, very clean. I love clean vocals, and it does it really well. Instrumentals. So excellent. I found, note weight. For $58, it really blew my mind. It's not what I was expecting on this IM. The note weight and tonality of instruments, whether it be Poncho Sanchez's drums, Tina Gao with her cello. I didn't find any sibilants or BA timbre. It was just really impressive. That was my kind of overall take on a TA3. I don't know how you could go wrong, honestly, on a modular cable, lovely modular cable, great build quality IEM, smaller shell. Some reviewers didn't actually get around to reviewing the couple of these because I guess there was some quality control issues, but I'll punch up my graph. Mine graphed really, really nicely. Very little deviant between left and right, so channel balance was great. I'm just going to report on what I experienced, and build quality control, top notch, shell shape, top notch. Overall, let's just talk about the bass. BERRI bass, slamming, fantastic. It does a job. The coherence between and that was a big thing for me on the quartet as well, is it just had a disconnect between the bass and those cheap BAs. This one, I can't hear where the 10 mil leaves and the 6 mil titanium starts and finishes. Nor can I pick up it just is a nice blend between the three drivers. And that's full on kudos to you, TRN. Whoever tuned these did a great job. I think it'll appeal to many people. It won't upset too many people. It has bass when there's bass in the mix, and it goes low and it slams hard. For treble, again, there's enough in there to just give instruments the nice sharpness and crispness and the details. You can pick out instrument placements, enough highs to give you great sense of stage and width, and the overall sound stage wasn't as much 3D as I've heard, but I'm not knocking it for that. I actually quite enjoyed the stage presentation of this one. It didn't pull you away too much with spastic stuff going on here, behind you, but it just did it in a way that made it fun and engaging. Especially at its price point, it's really hard to beat. If I didn't actually know these were $58, I would have guessed a lot higher. So even in 2023's Chi-Fi craziness, I think it's pretty awesome value. The mids, again, it did vocals so nicely. I really liked it. Again, different from the Pen-On Fan 2, where it was it was lush, where this one was more organic and natural in its timbre. The upper mids, again, and upper highs, no harshness, and it was really well presented, and I liked that very much. And again, in the highs, I am a little bit treble sensitive, and I have zero issues here, but found it gave me just as much as I wanted, and I quite enjoyed it. So that was my kind of impressions. There's not just one driver or frequency range or genre of music the TA3 excelled at. It did everything really well. Again, I love the bass, and I love the mids, and I love the vocals, and I love the highs. So, really, what else to say on that one? It's an awesome value. You put everything into play. You put the shell, the ease of use, the cosmetics, the cable, the accessories you get with it, and ultimately the sound. You put it all together, and if it's great value, I'm super happy to report back to you that this is probably a hidden gem. I think there was a lot of people put off because they heard about QC issues. It is Chi-Fi. It's happened. My set has 0. Neither did my MT4. So 2 for 2. That's the first 2 TRNs I've ever had the pleasure of listening to, and so far it's been a great experience. These are keepers for me. That's all I can say. I appreciate everyone watching. Last thought on the TRN TA3. I'm pretty happy to share something like that. I think it's a great find. I think it's a great value. It's a standout IM for build quality and the cable that you get with it in the mod cable. So really kudos to you, TRN. For me. It was a wonderful IM. It was a great find, and I'm glad I found it, and I'm glad I shared it with you. Thank you.